Hello everyone. Today I'm going to install a Setina push bumper and a 22 Police Interceptor utility. And we got to remove the bumper first thing, so pull these 3 plastic push clips. Then there's 4 bolts or screws on each side. Got to pull those. There's 2 more push clips up top. Next we'll pull out this inner fender liner and just kind of fold it back, get it out of the way. Next I'm going to release these white plastic clips for this fender lip molding. I use a 90-degree pick. I think if you reef on them hard enough you can just pull them out, but sometimes it breaks the clips. So get that out of the way. Next up is 2 10mm bolts. Those hold each side of the bumper on. They hold them onto the fender. Now we'll remove all the lower screws that attach the bottom of the bumper to the undershield. Then we'll pull the 4 top bolts. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this bumper out before I pull it off. They want you to pull it off first, but I've done about 20 of these now, and so I've kind of modified my procedure. They also want you to cut this entire center section out. And what I'll do is I'll mark down 1.25 inches from the edge, down 1/2 inch, and on the lower section there I'm going to go in 1/2 inch, and then I'll just kind of freehand scribe this. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a police car. It's going to get probably smashed. So we'll scribe the bottom. Fill in and scribe the top. Then I'll take my utility blade, just kind of score it so I can snap the plastic off. Then I'll use my small Milwaukee Sawzall and cut the plastic. You can just use a utility knife. It takes a little longer. Once I make the cuts, and I can just snap the plastic out. And then this lower section, I make a little notch down here because these all for some reason sit lower than what they say, and the bumper won't go on. So that's what I'm cutting down for the lower bracket to sit in, which you'll see later. And then we'll snap that off. Remove any loose plastic. And do the same on the opposite side, and we'll pull this electrical connector and pull the bumper off. Just kind of firmly pull it off on each side. It's got a little clip, plastic clip that holds it in there. And there, the bumper is off. Pretty simple. Get that out of the way. Now these inner plastic shields, you want to go 2.5 inches up and 4.5 inches in. Scribe some marks. Do it on both sides. Now take my razor knife and just cut the corners all the way through and then scribe the rest. And we'll take my tin snips, cut this plastic back, cut it in 3 spots, go in the corner here, and you'll see why, because it'll snap it off in 2 pieces. And do the same for the other side. And pull this shield out and snap the pieces of plastic off. Removing these will allow to put the brackets in, which you'll see later. And we'll put it back in. Then we'll do the same for the bottom shield. 4.5 inches in, scribe. Same thing, we'll cut this corner out, cut completely through. And then run a scribe down. And then you'll want to run this up, and there's it's a little edge, a casting edge that goes up, and that's where you cut on the side. You can't really see it in the video here. And there's that little casting. We'll just cut up to that, or cut along that. Do it on both sides and then snap the plastics off on this lower shield. And we'll put that back on. And we'll pull this kit out, unbox it, pull the push bumper out, get everything out of the packaging. Now there's wiring on the side of this push bumper. We just leave it in the loom. After we install these, it goes to wherever it goes, the county or the city, and then they upfit it for the rest. They wire it in, they put the radios in and all their equipment in. Okay, so this bumper tie bar, we'll go ahead and pull the inner lower bolts and just loosen up the other 3 on each side. And then we'll install our brackets, the 2 left brackets. And you'll see the 90-degree ear on it will face out for the left, and same for the other side. And there's a spacer bracket you install next. You install the factory bolt, and then their hardware. Just installing all this by hand for now. And we'll snug these up. And then we'll snug up the bracket bolts. We won't final tighten them yet. Now the lower ears on these brackets, I have to pound them in. They don't quite sit horizontal with the upper, so I give them a couple swacks. And they all fit the same. And then we'll just kind of pound the bracket to the inside on each one until they're horizontal, or excuse me, vertical. Just eyeballing them both vertical and parallel with each other. Now we'll go ahead and do final tight down of the bolts. Get everything tightened up. Go ahead and reinstall the bumper. And those cutouts I did earlier on will slide through that lower brackets. It looks like it fits good. We'll snap the top portion of this bumper on. It's got two clips and it'll snap on. Line up the sides. Go ahead and push those in until they clip in. Then we'll push the undershield back up underneath the bumper. Pull the wiring harness through and reconnect the wiring. Make sure everything's lined up on the bottom. Get that undershield tucked back up under there. Then go ahead and start a couple screws. Then we'll reinstall the 10mm bolts. Tighten those up. Go ahead and pull that inner fender liner back into place. Get it tucked up in there. Slides in between that lip molding and the fender. Go ahead and snap the plastic trim back on. Reinstall the push clips. Install the 4 screws on each side. Then go ahead and install all the screws on the bottom of the bumper and splash shield and tighten those up. You can see here we got a really good fit. And that's why I notched it down in the bottom there. Those brackets they sit lower than what they say. And we'll install these little wing brackets, braces. Just go ahead and install one bolt on each one so these will swivel when you go to put the push bumper on. Go ahead and put this up into place. Tuck those ears in, slide it up in there, and we'll go ahead and install a bolt for each one of those brackets. They go in the center holes. Really can't mess this up. They only line up one way. Pull this wiring back. That'll be the wiring that the city or county will be installing later. So we'll get all of our hardware installed by hand. Now I'm going to snug these up, but not do a final tighten on them. So we'll snug these bolts up on the sides first. We don't want to tighten that so they can pivot. Then we'll snug the top bracket bolts. And then do a final hand tighten. My 90-degree impact, a lot of times will blow that Torx out, so I just do a tighten by hand when I'm done. I've had to warranty that a few times. And this fits really nice. Alright, so there you have it. One Setina push bumper installed. Ready to go out there and ram some criminals. Okay, thanks for watching everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.